Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh McLean. Coming up, DOJ arrests alleged voice behind ISIS videos, updates in NIKOLAS CRUZ trial, social media apps face outages, and a look at sports and your 5-day forecast. All this and more as PS News starts right now. Here's what's happening around the world. Airlines are bleeding money, and it's probably not going to stop anytime soon. The International Air Transport Association is forecasting that airlines will lose nearly $52 billion this year. That updated outlook is more than previously forecast. The group also expects airlines to lose $11.5 billion next year before finally returning to profitability in 2023. Last year was also worse than originally thought. The new report updates losses from 2020 higher to nearly $138 billion. That happened during the same year the federal government spent $25 billion bailing out airlines impacted by the pandemic. Shakira has won a tax case in Spain. A Spanish tribunal court ruled the singer was forced to pay the treasury unfairly. The singer's lawyers say the tax agency now has to return money it incorrectly settled. But that's not the end of Shakira's legal trouble in Spain. In a separate case in July, a judge ruled the singer could stand trial for alleged tax evasion of more than 14 million euros, equal to about $17 million. The judge said there was evidence to show she may be liable to pay taxes from 2012 to 2014. The case depends on where Shakira's main residence is. The tax agency says it's Spain, but her defense team reportedly argues it's the Bahamas. The Department of Justice says it now has the English-speaking narrator heard in ISIS recruitment videos. This is Mohammed Khalifa. Prosecutors say he's a Saudi-born Canadian citizen who worked with ISIS for 6 years after traveling to Syria in 2013 to become a fighter. Syrian Democratic Forces captured Khalifa in 2019. Officials in Syria say he was throwing grenades during a firefight. On Saturday, U.S. officials said the Syrians recently handed him over to the FBI. The DOJ says Khalifa's work helped further ISIS's reach and recruitment efforts. Khalifa will also face charges in Canada. Those are your global stories for now. When we come back, we will take a look at what's happening around the nation. Stay tuned.
Finney Sports has been serving its communities, local high schools, youth commissions, clubs, and other businesses since 1984. We specialize in trophies, screen printing, sporting goods, embroidery, office apparel, uniforms, hats, t-shirts, and more. Regardless of the size of your project, you will have the full participation and dedication of our design team. No job is too big or too small, keeping you involved every step of the way so that your vision is our design. Stop into Finney Sports or call us to see what we can do for you.
Welcome back. Here's what's happening around the nation. Mental illness affects everyone, directly or indirectly, through family, friends, or coworkers. That's why doctors and health officials are trying to get the word out about how to live with and manage it. The first week of October is Mental Illness Awareness Week. Congress officially established MIAW in 1990 to better educate the public about mental health issues, provide support for those who face it, and fight against discrimination. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, mental illness is common in the U.S. They state nearly 1 in 5 adults live with a mental health condition. That worked out to around 51.5 million people in 2019. NIKOLAS CRUZ lawyers want to delay the battery trial of the confessed Parkland school shooter. The court was supposed to hold the first day of jury selection for CRUZ's trial Monday. CRUZ is facing the battery charge because of a scuffle he had with a jail guard back in November 2018. The defense is asking the court to delay the proceedings because CRUZ's lead attorney was in an ICU after suffering a serious medical emergency. Last week, the defense team requested a delay, but the document states the court refused. The court argued another lawyer could serve as a substitute. CRUZ was in jail for the 2018 mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Police say he confessed to shooting and killing 17 people during the massacre. He is now facing a separate trial on 34 counts of premeditated and attempted murder. About 60,000 film and television workers could be on strike soon. In a near-unanimous vote, members of the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees Union approved to authorize a strike. The move could stop Hollywood productions for an indefinite period. At issue, health and safety, plus quality of life issues for TV and film industry workers, including meal breaks and days off. The IATSE has been around for near 128 years, and they say this is the first time they've authorized a nationwide strike. The strike authorization comes after negotiations with the group representing producers broke down. The two sides were negotiating overtime, on-set conditions, and contributions to health and pension benefits. The IATSE is expected to return to negotiations, but they want the studios to know they are serious about getting concessions. New research suggests developing a heart condition after receiving a COVID-19 vaccine is rare. The journal JAMA Internal Medicine published the latest research from a group of Kaiser Permanente doctors Monday. The doctors studied over 2 million people who received at least one dose of the Pfizer or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. Researchers say only 15 people developed myocarditis, a kind of heart inflammation. None of the patients had prior heart disease. The doctors point out that they also looked at more than 1 million people who did not receive a COVID vaccine, and 75 of them developed myocarditis. The doctors did find an increased rate of myocarditis among young men. They say all 15 cases in those who received at least one vaccine dose were in men between the ages of 20 and 32. More than half of the 75 cases in the unvaccinated group were also men. The doctors say this warrants further research. National security versus government transparency. That's what's facing the Supreme Court right now, as they decide on a case involving a prisoner at Guantanamo Bay. Abu Zubaydah, an associate of Osama bin Laden. He was arrested a few months after the 9/11 terrorist attacks and went through enhanced interrogation techniques in a CIA detention center. Now, his lawyers want to hear from 2 CIA contractors to get more information on exactly what happened to him, so they can use it in criminal proceedings in Poland and hold Polish officials accountable for the torture. But the Biden administration called on the so-called state secrets privilege, which the government uses when it believes certain information could threaten national security. By the end of Wednesday's court proceedings, an interesting twist. 3 justices said they want to hear from Zubaydah himself. Now the question is, will the government allow it? Right now, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports and the Plattsburgh weather.
PS News is a live show put together by just a bunch of college students, and we put it out to the public for everybody to see. Different segments that we have with PS News. We have national news, we have world news, and we cover sports and pop culture news as well.
It's been a lot of fun, especially this semester. We have a great crew and talent that make it amazing.
We go live Monday through Thursday from 7 and 7:30.
Welcome to PS News.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the weather near you.
Thank you, Josh. I'm PS News meteorologist Marcel Gibbs. Now, it's looking pretty good from the It's looking pretty good from the temperatures that I can see on the board. We got 70 for Owl's Head, 70 for Vermont Hill, as well as 70 for Saddle Forks, 68 for Dannemora, 60 for Plattsburgh, and St. Albans City and Williston having a 72. Now let's take a look at 5-day forecast. Friday being the most beautiful day that we've had for the past couple of weeks, and from the temperatures, it's not looking good for the rest of the week. But on Tuesday and some Monday, it's going to be a savior. 65 for Saturday and 64 for Sunday, as well as mostly cloudy during those days, and going through on the week until Tuesday, where maybe the sun will come out again and grace us with its sight. But that's all for the week's weather. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Marcel. And now for a look at the sports world.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Garrett with PS Sports. Let's take a look at what's happening around the sports world. National Women's Soccer League team co-owner Steve Baldwin has resigned as CEO and managing partner of the Washington Spirit. It comes as the NWSL faces a series of scandals. Baldwin said part of the reason for his resignation was a request by players. He also cited concerns over workplace culture and the prior coach's conduct. Former coach Richie Burke was fired recently as a result of an NWSL investigation into allegations against some of the members of the Spirit. That same investigation found the team's ownership, quote, failed to act in the best interests of the league. Baldwin's resignation follows a report by Thursday by The Athletic detailing allegations of sexual coercion and misconduct against former North Carolina Courage head coach Paul Riley. Riley has denied the accusations. Matches will resume Wednesday after last week's games were canceled following the report. The NWSL has detailed plans for systematic change within the league. The Australian government has been flexible and practical to ensure the Ashes of a cricket series played between England and Australia can go ahead. But speaking earlier today, Australia Health Minister Greg Hunt said the fate of the series lies in England's hands.
Be aware that England's cricketers may not want to come here now because of our quarantining situation. Can there be any special quarantine requirements that are given to the English cricketers to make sure the Ashes can go ahead?
Well, I really hope, both as a minister but as a deep cricket fan, that they do come. I've been in contact with Richard Colbeck throughout the recent weeks, our sports minister. He's been working with his UK counterpart. The Prime Minister's been working with Boris Johnson, and we are hopeful that we will be able to have this go ahead. Ultimately, it's always in the hands of the touring party, but we've been working to be flexible and practical. On the one hand, make sure that we have safety arrangements for Australia. On the other hand, to be practical and flexible, to give that touring party every chance of coming here and to have the Ashes played this summer.
Okay. Now for a quick look at what's happening in the world of sports around you. BEEKMANTOWN will be sending its volleyball seniors out on a high note. On senior night Tuesday, the Eagles came away with a 3-0 victory over Northeastern Clinton High in CVAC action. Dylan Bronson led the team with 16 assists, and Lauren Cross and Charlize Daniels tied the team for 6 kills. 5 seniors were honored during the game for BEEKMANTOWN. The sets went to 25-18, 25-21, and 25-13, respectively. That's all for sports. I'm Garrett Collins. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Garrett. And that's all the time we have for tonight. Whether you're watching from home or on the go, you can find PS News on the Plattsburgh State TV YouTube page and social media at Plattsburgh State TV. Have a good night, Plattsburgh.